Hi everyone, this is Tom. I'm the founder of Convesio, and I happen to be visiting Fort Myers, Florida, post WordCamp Miami, and took some time to catch up with one of our best customers, Mike Healy at M M Multimedia. So Mike, at WordCamp, a lot of people kept asking me, how do they scale the leads and the business for their agencies? And I know myself in the past, having worked in the agency space, a lot of people think it's a quick hit of like just doing paid search or social media advertising. In my experience, that stuff really hasn't paid off, but you've been able to grow this business tremendously over the last, I think, how many years have you been in business?
10 years.
10 years. Over
11.
the last 10 years, you've grown this business significantly. What has been the secret to your success?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, it was a little difficult because like some of the entrepreneurs or people that may have started an agency, I had a full-time job, actually, where we met. And at that time, it was me taking on very selectively little clients that I could get. And because I didn't have the time to go out there and meet people in person, it really became more of a SEO pay-per-click strategy. So early on, we did kind of had to go that strategy. But the one thing I was really surprised when I left the full-time job and said, hey, we're going to go out there and we're going to go ahead and start to grow the company and really try to achieve big things at M&M, it was kind of counterintuitive because I'm out here saying SEO, pay-per-click, all this stuff to generate leads. But it wasn't until I got in front of the different networkings, the chambers, my local meetup groups, technology groups that we were in, and then also some really critical or pivotal sponsorship opportunities through going to these networking groups and connecting with people that had the need for our services, and even taking a step further, not even going and meeting the end user, but meeting other partners. So we found that we work really well with print advertising companies. These print guys, are good relationships us for a have because they don't do the websites, they don't do the pay-per-click, but they have the same customer base. They have somebody that's a small business owner that wants to generate more business and needs marketing. So we were able to kind of partner with them, even with other agencies. An agency trying to grow, but you're really good on the fulfillment side like we were. We established a system and process to develop the websites and deploy things really quick. So then the next step told me was maybe I can find people that already have other clients that are looking for websites. So other agencies, public relations people, the one-off marketing consultants that were in there. Those all seem to work well. Another one that works really good for us is partnering with an IT company. IT companies and web companies, when you're in front of some of those customers, they don't know the difference. I hate to say it, but it's countless times where I go to launch a website, buy a domain, and be like, can you do our email? Can you handle our email service? And we made a kind of a conscious effort early on not to really become too heavily involved in the IT side. So it's a nice way for me to be able to refer things to an IT company, which on the flip side, they have the same issue where their clients are like, we're not happy with our website, it's not working. And so there's just a natural kind of pass along referral process there.
A lot of people are out there doing side hustles for agency work, right? And so they may have a full-time job, maybe in or not in the industry, and they're actually trying to do some freelance work on the side. That was actually sort of inhibited some of the marketing and relationships that you could have. So that's something to always keep in mind. If you're doing a side hustle gig, you probably, just by being more public about things, you'll be able to get more exposure. The other thing that is interesting is, you really heavily relied on these networking and partnerships. I know it's sometimes when I've done those type of things in the past, it's hard to get, it's sort of a slow ramp up to build, right? You don't get like an immediate influx of leads when you're out there networking all the time. For an agency that just wants to start doing local networking, give us like the top 3 things that you think are the great places to start.
Your local chamber is always a great way to start. I've heard a lot of people, well, I joined the chamber, I didn't get much out of it. You get, just like anything in, you get in what you put in. And again, it's just being really strategic and specific about who you want to meet. There's nothing wrong with going into these meetings, and majority of them ask you at the end of the meeting, like, who can we introduce you to? Who is somebody you want to, and be very specific. If it's mortgage brokers, if it's a specific person, if it's the CEO of so-and-so, like we have Hertz in our backyard. A lot of people want to meet the Hertz CEO because we're one of the bigger brands in our area. So that's always helps. One of the things, I guess, 2 more tips that I've seen be very successful for me is you don't know who's going to be that next referral source. So everyone I meet, I grab a card, I come back to our CRM, I have a canned email that says, hey, great to meet you at XYZ networking group or event. And because of our leverage, what people probably don't know is we're actually filming in a studio that I own. We're able to invite people back to the studio. And when people come to the studio, it's different than inviting somebody to your office, right? So you might have to have something kind of cool to play into this, but the goal is to get them to come to you. And once they're here and they see the studio, the guard goes down, we offer them a water, we start to talk, and you get to know those people. And there's going to be people that you meet where within the first 5 minutes, we don't need to take more than 30 minutes with this tour, and I hate to say it, but you're going to run into people that are there, trying to sell things for franchises, which may not be the greatest referral for you because they don't make that decision. They're not in front of people like that. So doing that immediate email invite to do a one-on-one, because it's one thing to go to, and we've kind of experienced this a little bit at WordCamp. It's all about talking to that person one-on-one and getting them to sit down with you and getting to know that person and letting them know you and build that circle of trust. The third thing I do, and this one takes a little more time to ramp up because I couldn't do this until I was probably in a couple of these networking events and built the relationships. But now it's easy for me to host here at the studio. We'll host a get-together, what we call an after 5 or an evening networking thing. So I'll literally come out here and we'll have a crab boil and I'll have 30 to 40 people in here. Once I have them in this place, 1, I've just got brand recognition. 2, a lot of times the cost is subsidized by the networking group or the organization. So it's not like it's coming out of pocket totally for me. But now I have a captive audience somewhere, again, that's kind of cool to be, that's seeing here, and we become the center focus without even trying to be the center focus, if that makes sense.
Great. Those are awesome tips. We really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for listening. This is Mike again with M M Multimedia out of Fort Myers, Florida.